Hopefully we're live. It looks like we're having a little bit of trouble on the Facebook side. Things are a little bit hiccuped. So if you guys can see us and you're on live with us, send us a message just to let us know. So it's having trouble playing the video. Which would not be unusual today, because today we've had all kinds of technical difficulties, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why we're a little bit late. So, welcome to episode 22 of Draw with Me Kids. We're going to do shapes. 22. We're going to do shapes today, which is going back to everything that we've ever learned with, hey, that's good. Woohoo! Yeah. We're glad we got somebody said we're okay. We're going to do shapes, which is basically everything we've done, go back to the basics. But we're also going to show you how you can use that to boost your creativity, to help you come up with other ideas.
I have a special tip that I want to share too.
You do too.
We don't have any trivia, but I have a tip instead. To boost your creativity. This might sound pretty funny, but if you do this.
Are you eye jiggling? Yeah, you're looking everywhere. Cool. Does that boost do you feel creative?
That boosts my creativity.
All right. So, you could do the eye jiggle too, if you want to. But get your pens, your paper, your pencils, and erasers ready, and here we go.
Okay, so it's my turn.
Oh, it's your turn. No idea? You want me to do it? Okay. Oh, that's cool. Just say Mom.
You're used to doing it.
Let Mommy do it then. No problem. So Sam Ann's going to take over here. What I'm going to tell you about this one is it's an actual truck that is on fire.
And I think I did something to the thing because it went from the mouse to the circle.
Oh, did you do that from the mouse to the circle? That's okay.
Look it like that.
Okay, I got her. Oops.
Oops.
No problem. So this is our fire truck from Emily. Again, an Undertale dream swap piece. We got my dragon fire that I did last week. A dragoon disaster. This is Sophia's piece. There's a dragon involved and a tree on fire and a fire truck, which I think is all related to a little movie you're doing in Minecraft, right? And here's my own fire truck. And I think we have one more.
My fight.
And there is Sophia's firefighter Bianca. I love your fashion for Bianca. That's really cool. The flames on it. And your little fire spirit. Is it Fira?
Fira.
Fira. So today we're going to do... There we go. I'm over here on the desk. And Sophia is over on...
I think it's low now. Hold on, let me put it up a little bit.
Okay. So hopefully you can see my desk work here. So today we're going to do a couple of shapes. We're going to do a heart shape. So if you have trouble drawing heart shapes, we'll talk a bit about how to draw that. A square shape. A triangle shape. And a circle. So you can do these a couple of ways. Sophia's doing them very, very quickly. She's going to add an oval and a rectangle as well. She wants to add that to her picture. But I'm going to get you guys to stick with these four. Unless you want to get really creative, go for it. I don't mind. But what I want to show you today is an exercise that I like to do sometimes in my sketchbook to help me think about process and whatnot. Sophia's trying to set herself up here because she doesn't like the size of the pencil that I left her with on the thing. So you can draw these shapes to be the shapes themselves, absolutely. So the triangle with their 3 sides, and the square with its 4 sides, and a heart is just a heart, circle. You can draw them just like that if you want, but you might be able to see other things in those shapes if you turn them around or if you make them a part of a bigger picture. So what we're going to do today is take them and start using our imaginations into turning them into other things.
Like if you made a house.
True, if you made a house.
And the house could be like, this is my square,
Mm-hmm.
my rectangle. That's my first shape, and my triangle.
So there you go. That's a really simple way of doing it, and I love it. That is exactly what we've been doing all of this time at Draw With Me Kids Edition, is showing you a basic shape and then turning it into something else. So today you're going to get to do that a little bit with your own imagination. So let's start off with, if you want to, following along with my creative inspiration on some of them. And I'll tell you a little bit about shapes too. Shapes are really fascinating because different shapes have different meanings depending on where we are in the world and what our culture is. But one thing that seems to be very common among all people on Earth is that things that have sharp or flat edges like that can have more danger to them than something that is curved and round like a circle. So if you start with a shape like this, for example, and I'm going to do a heart. I'll show you what this heart makes me think of. It makes me think of a nose for a dragon. So I'm going to draw the two nostrils.
This makes me think of an upside down leaf.
I'm going to add two ovals. You made you think of an upside down leaf? Cool. So I'm going to make this is the front of the dragon. This is pressing so hard because I want to make sure you guys can see what's going on.
Don't break my pencil.
No, I am not. I've got some more lead. So I've made eyeballs on this guy. Going to make a little tiny, I'm just going to keep doing that, I guess. Mouth on him. Almost could be a bird.
Ace, heart, yard.
Ace, heart. I think somebody would appreciate that in Gatineau. There is.
I think of circles.
So that would be sort of one thing that I could think of doing with a heart.
Here's what I think with circles.
I'm going to do a circle one.
I put two circles. I think of a happy circle family.
A happy circle family.
I can make hearts between them. It can be under rectangle and triangle shape. By a square and a triangle house. With a semicircle.
Oh, see, you're using all kinds of shapes. You can use the shape literally for something that you
And
see.
a circle sun with.
Oh, can't forget the circle sun.
The rays.
Every day in your imagination, or maybe something that you dream about. Maybe you dream about being on a stage. Or maybe you're a ballerina on a stage. You could sort of draw a dancer dancing on the stage. But again, it's just all about taking a look at a shape and making your mind think about what you could create bigger out of that. And you know what? For adults, it's actually harder to come up with something creative out of a shape than it is for a kid to come up with something out of a shape. At least that's what we learned by watching Brainchild, right?
Yeah.
Unless, of course, it's your job to look for shapes and make them into something new, then that makes things a little bit different. One of the things that I find Yeah, she's writing it down. She got that from Brainchild. So one of the things that I find interesting as someone who draws a lot of people or a lot of places is a shape can help you define a character too.
And
So
being an artist can help you turn shapes into something amazing. Not that anybody normal can not do that.
well, everybody
You
can do that.
just as good as an artist.
Yeah, everybody can do that. You just have to let your mind open up and see things in a different way. Like, take a look at the triangle, and I'm going to turn it upside down to create a character.
If I turn my triangle upside down, I can make it look like a stalactite on the top of a cave.
So I'm going to turn this character, this person here, or this triangle, into a person. And it should give you, I'm also going to use rectangle, sort of more of a rectangle shape. And maybe you guys can tell me what you think about this person just by looking at the shape. What kind of character am I starting to draw just based off of how this triangle looks? I'm going to use my black marker here so that you can see it, the outline of it better.
Heroic.
Heroic, yeah. That's exactly what I'm going for, somebody who is heroic. I could even add like a cape on this guy and you'd be like, oh yeah, there's a superhero. If you take a look at Superman as a design or Batman as a design, you're going to see in their designs that they are, in fact, at least in part, a triangle. At least in the top. Boop. And their faces are usually more rectangular or a square shape because we sort of seem to indicate strength with that. So I kind of just did a superhero, and all that has as a base this triangle. The triangle's not really there anymore, but the shape of it is there. I don't know if you guys can see that with the camera. There you go. So that's kind of the importance of shapes, and it's something we've been talking about since day one with our whales and our fire and everything that we've been doing. Is if you want to build a character or make a design of somebody or express something,
I'm going to start my picture.
Start your picture, and you can watch Sophia using her shapes on her picture. But you can sort of do all kinds of interesting things just by using a shape base. Like, if you had this heart, again, if you had this heart as your loose shape and wanted to create a character out of it, maybe you want to have somebody who is she's very curvy maybe, and it's just the start for a character. Almost looks like a butterfly when I'm doing it this way.
Or a fairy.
Or a fairy. But it's sort of the start of somebody who has very curvy legs maybe, and has her body going a bit like that. You can kind of, there's just the heart shape, and it started out as a shape that you can build from. So Sophia's going to start a picture, and she's going to start using shapes in it. And I'm going to take, which one should I use to build a bigger picture? What do you guys think? Should I use the heart, the triangle, the square, and the circle? And what I'll try to do is use as many of those as I possibly can in my picture, just to show you the different things they can be used for. Is there any votes for which ones you'd like me to try? Any favorite shapes? Maybe there's a shape that I don't have on there that I can make. Move this guy over. One of the exercises I like to do from time to time too is just have random I'm just going to put a bunch of random stuff on here. So I'd have a bunch of random shapes. We have an oval. Okay, I will do one with an oval. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll have a bunch of random shapes on a page, and then I start trying to bring them all together into a bigger picture. So that's an exercise you guys can do. I'll come back to that one. Oval. Well, in a couple of the ones that we did, Draw With Me Kids ones we did, we start out with an oval with another oval on top. And if you guys want to know a quick way or an interesting way to do an oval, do I have an elastic band here? Not one that's not icky. You know what? I
might know where one is.
You might know where one is. I don't want to interrupt your drawing if you don't want.
No, everybody can look at my picture.
Everybody can look at your picture and you're going to draw them?
There's a rope ladder. There's a rope ladder going into a cave, and there's sunlight coming through the hole. On the house in the cave, there's a little
That's
tree.
really quite pretty. I like that. One interesting trick on how to do an oval, or a circle for that matter. I'm going to use this right here. Sophie, I think I got something here we can use. You can use an elastic or a string. Sophia wants to go get an elastic because she's determined. I'm using a piece of wire here. Let's draw a circle. Take a pen or pencil. Flip this guy over. And if you don't have a compass, because we used to have compasses, maybe if you're older, your classes will have compasses, you stretch your elastic or your string or your thing as far as you can go, and you can start drawing almost a perfect circle. I can't hold the page and do it at the same time, which is tricky, but you just have to turn it around. That's one way you can do a perfect circle without even having a compass. What's really cool about an oval and how it's formed, and it takes a little bit more trick. And Sophia's found her hairband and she wants to use that as something. So here, Sophia, I'm going to get you to help me. So one thing you could do here is hold these two guys. I'll hold them steady. Now take that at as strong, as far as you can take it, yeah, and draw. It didn't quite work out, did it? No, not bad though. Hold on. Try this. For me, you hold those two for me and I'll show. Hold them tight and don't let me pull you away from your straight up, okay? That's something you'll learn in geometry. Not working as well. My demonstration's not working as well, but an ellipsis or an oval shape has 2 points that you can use to draw bigger ovals. That was kind of a silly experiment, but thank you, Sophia, for helping me.
Welcome.
So I'm going to have this character who's built of ovals. I want to have them very, very, very surprised.
I think I'm done my picture so far.
Well, you can start coloring it then to give it some more detail. And I would do an oval here, which is a half oval for the ear. So maybe as I'm making this guy, this character, could be, I'm going to use an oval actually for the shape of the hair. I went with surprised because I find ovals are great for making mouths that are very surprised. And this person's running. I don't know. An oval. So just using ovals, I've got sort of the basic shape of a character here, which I can expand on. I'm going to use ovals to make sort of very poofy hair, I think. So now that I've got sort of the basic shapes there of all those ovals on this character, let's pick a color that everybody can see really well against my thing. Oh, but you know what I need to do before I do that? I need to show you what maybe is surprising them or chasing them. I'll cheat and put a triangle in there just because it makes them look a little bit more menacing. So I'm just using the basis of ovals to create this sort of almost, I don't know, whimsical looking chase scene with my bumblebees chasing this person. Maybe because these guys are angry, I don't know. The bee nest is there, and maybe the bee nest is disturbed. So once you get sort of all those, you just sort of look and see, well, what other things could I put that's an oval? Like, her shadow could be an oval. Or his shadow, or its shadow. You can maybe make an oval-like sun, or more circle, but it's a sun. And that's when you can start making decisions of, okay, well, this person has a very round face. Whenever I draw things, I always start with the basic shapes underneath, and then I start finding out what lines it is that I want to keep from them to make my character. So in this case, you guys helped me create a scene with the oval shape. This character is somebody who doesn't look like they're all that dangerous, but the bees seem to think they are, because they're chasing them. I made this a striped shirt. I tend to make my unknown characters when I'm just doodling striped shirts or polka dot shirts or t-shirts. So ovals can kind of have a very fun, bubbly aspect to them, because this character doesn't really look all that, I don't think that this character looks all that dangerous necessarily, but mostly because of all the soft edges of the ovals. Just like these bees might not look all that menacing until I put in those stingers on them. And although they look like bees, they sort of also have that fun, bubbly, cartoony look to them. So by choosing ovals, we've kind of made this a fun cartoon, even though something scary is happening in it with the bees chasing. I wouldn't want to be chased by bees. Are you kidding me? I don't know why those two are bigger than everybody else, but we'll just put in a few more that are...
Maybe it's the adult bees and those are the baby bees.
Maybe. Maybe.
You're just winging it.
Oh.
That's got a sting.
So there's the beehive. So in this particular scene, the ovals have made this character, you know, not looking all that menacing, kind of cutie and whatnot. If I decided to do something where I created a character made out of triangles or squares, we can sort of use those shapes. Like triangles are a shape that's known to be very strong on the base. You'll see a lot of triangles in bridge construction and house construction. You'll also see squares because they sort of have a certain strength about them as well. And depending on how you make that triangle will tell you a little bit more about that character. Like I could take a character. Oh, I like drawing that. It was fun. I could take a character and make a triangle this way and make them out of this, and you would have a different impression from that character of what kind of character they are. Maybe I'll even do a triangle, sort of like head here. Oh, weird, right? And they'll have triangle hair and triangle ears. Maybe we'll give them something, and a triangle nose.
Have a nice house in the cave.
You have a nice house in the cave. What kind of shapes are you using for your picture, Sophia? Miss Rainbows, why don't you share with some people what shapes you're using? Lots of triangles I see for the tree.
Triangle, triangle, triangle.
Yep.
Rectangle for the house. And I have a square at the bottom of the door. A semicircle at the top of the door. Circular windows. Oval sun rays that I haven't colored yet coming into the cave. I thought the rope ladder would just be a fun thing to add. And then I have a rectangle and square chairs underneath the tree. And that is my picture.
So that's really cool. I like how you've used all these different shapes. It's like, I don't know if some of you are in kindergarten or if some of you remember when you were in kindergarten. One of the things you probably did as an exercise, and still do in grade 1 a little bit, a little less in grade 2. And some of your older years, you probably don't do it quite the same way at all. But you would look at shapes around you, like an octagon can be found on a stop sign. And your house is sort of a bunch of rectangles and squares put together with a triangle roof. So it's always a good exercise once in a while to sort of see what shapes you can do. So I've just created this character here out of triangles, completely out of triangles. And now I'm going to go back in and see if I can find a little bit more of their personality. Does this person, do you guys feel friendly? Maybe they are a bit friendly, but
Like the queen of a friendly alien tribe.
the queen of a friendly alien tribe. So because I started with a triangle, maybe what I'm going to do is do that for their hair. He's still using that triangle shape, but I've added some hair spikies.
Mommy, look at my picture. Everybody look at my picture.
Oh,
It's
wow!
colored, and I think I'm just going to finish it off by adding some stalactites and stalagmites in the background.
This could definitely be the queen of an alien species for sure. I was kind of going for a bit of a wizard theme, but I like your queen of an alien group too. And I even used a triangle for the wand, although it's a skinny triangle. But that triangle shape has given me sort of a different look from this kind of character who's casting a spell. It's one that I did back at the beginning. I'll put him up there at the same time with the superhero, which is a couple of shapes together, the triangle, the rectangle. So every single time that we've done a show, we've been doing this particular thing. I've been showing you how to use all the different shapes to create one particular object that we all work together to make. I'm using all of her shapes, but this is sort of a good exercise to do just to practice. Hey, what does my brain see in some of these things? I just turned mine. My kind of looks like a butt there. I'll take my butt away. It was not intentional. So one of the things I might consider doing for this page, sort of like what Sophia's got going over there. She's got a whole scene happening. So I've just randomly chosen these
How do I get rid of the layer?
select the layer and then click on the trash bin at the bottom and go. So if you're building bigger scenes, you can sort of take a look. Okay, I've got some interesting things here. This looks a little bit like maybe I don't know, felt like it was a little bit of a staircase to something. Maybe it's the water slide. Maybe this is the water slide, and then this is the staircase. So I'll just go water slide into a pool at the bottom. And we've got a Ferris wheel of sorts here. That one's, maybe I'm being too simple on it, but I'll do that. We'll do Ferris wheel. At the feet of the Ferris wheel. And sometimes when I'm doing these,
I think that's the end of my picture.
That's the end of your picture. You're already done, and it's only 35 minutes in.
I have another picture sketch that I want to color.
Okay.
That I made just before.
It's okay if we're doing a particularly small one, too. That's all right.
Yeah. This is, I made a little random person.
Maybe some carnival guy has this. Clown. He's flying away in the distance. So I'm sort of trying to turn all of these red shapes into one big
Maybe one could be a fun house. Or a carnival game. Or maybe, I don't know.
You said funhouse. I'm going to make this look a little bit weird and wonderful then. I was going to make it a big top, but let's make this. Well, maybe it still can be a big top. So if you ever want to practice and just be silly and doodle and get ideas, this is a really good exercise to do, or a really good way to do it, because it can help you think about shapes and making characters in a different way, just from different shapes. Because too often when we're drawing pictures or drawing our own things, we can get trapped in recognizable shapes. And what do I mean by recognizable shapes? Well, I will show you in just a moment. This is going to be... This is my skee ball.
I love skee balls.
It's not a very good skee ball. That's okay.
I don't care. Skee ball.
Skee ball ramp. And
everybody, I love skee ball.
Yeah. Okay, I was going to show something. Right. So I was going to say you can get trapped into the usual things if you're creating characters or drawing pictures. You can sort of get stuck with thinking that this is the way to draw a face, is a circle, and eyes are always circles. And this is a really good way to start, especially when you're younger. And you can definitely, that is recognizable as a face for drawing circles. And you can create, what is skee ball? That's a very good question. Do you know bowling? It's kind of like bowling, but if you imagine a big ramp and it has circles, I can show you, draw it to you.
It's a game where you have 9 or so balls, and there's a big ramp that you need to throw it up, so it, and then it
sort of looks a bit like that.
Then it goes down and then hits a hole, and whatever hole you go into is the number of points you have.
Yeah.
And
then there's your...
Then you can get prizes by getting certain ones, and right at the top is the score that you have. I'm so good at skee ball.
She's very good at skee ball. This is my really rough skee ball machine, but these would all be little holes that you can roll the ball up like you're bowling it up.
I've had a score of, if I remember correctly, 24,000.
Yeah, it was something big like that.
Yeah, something big like that.
You had a really big thing. So you get more points for getting closer to the center and less points for getting out here, and there's a little
and the ones at the top
part at the bottom
are usually like the super ones, so if you can...
Yeah, if you can get those two at the top. Looks like a person a bit, but at the bottom there's also a drain which it can go in and not give you any points.
Just didn't know what that was.
We call them skee ball. There's another name for them too, I'm sure. So with shapes that are familiar, this is a really good way to start doing faces, but if you want to get into something much more like comic book stuff and your own storybooks, or you want to do a special picture for your mom or your dad, and hold on, I'm going to move your thing on you. Yeah, you might have to do it for me. I can't do it.
What?
Scroll down. I can't see the comments anymore. There you go.
Wowzers.
So that's a really good way to start a face, but if you're trying to do a different character for your mom or dad or for somebody that you know, one of the things that you can start to train yourself to do as an artist is to start looking for shapes in other people's faces. Like I have, if I were to draw Sophia, she's got a very, let me take a look at your face. Look into the camera. How would I describe your face shape? It's cute. That's what it is. But Sophia does have a bit of a rounder face, but she has a chin that's sort of a little bit more like this. And she has an almost heart shape, so I do an oval-ish. But I'd have a little more pointier chin on her. And then she has sort of the almost square round glasses. And that was a weird... But there's another way you could do eyeballs. I just got inspired by Sophia's glasses. And it can help you sort of go away from, well, a nose is always a triangle, which is what I used to do when I was in kindergarten, and I draw a triangle nose, and I draw the curved face and circle eyes. And that's a really good picture, and you can understand it's a face, but if you wanted to do like a superhero, superheroes sometimes have that square jaw. You don't have to go super pointy on it, and a little dimple on their chin and their smile. And I don't know, if you want them to have a triangle nose, then you could have a triangle nose there. Maybe he's very, very pleased with himself. He knows he's a superhero. And then you can sort of start seeing characteristics in the faces that go beyond just a circle for a head. Maybe he's got a widow's peak or something like that. It's a little triangle piece of hair there that some people have on their foreheads. And then this guy could be like either a superhero, or maybe he even looks like he belongs in the army. And I just basically started out with a rectangle for his square jaw. So that's kind of one of the things about learning shapes and why we've been so into doing shapes all year to help you teach you how to do like the U shape for the whale. Oh my gosh, it's a flashback. And then you have your whale shape.
An oval. It says oval in the comments.
Oval.
I mean, you want to do a face with an oval?
Yeah, you could totally do a face with an oval. So, you think Sophia's face is an oval, maybe even? Let me try. She is a bit of an oval. She's my smart egg. She doesn't like that.
I'm not an egg.
It doesn't crack you up?
You've got to be kidding me. That was a bad joke.
Mm-hmm. So you can sort of see...
Yeah, Sophia's face.
Yeah, Sophia's face is very oval. I have, well, not so much now, but you could probably see more of a heart shape in my face because I have a particularly pointy chin. But my nose is also, I'm going to sneak into Sophia's camera, maybe you can't see from that distance. It's kind of got a roundish edge to it and then is fairly long. So that would give me kind of more my face shape.
This is my doodle sketch.
So hearts can be face shapes just as much as anything else I made. So this is kind of why we're doing shapes today, is to sort of show you that some shapes have a feeling about them just by looking at a person's face shape or whatever. We can exaggerate that and make different characters or different scenes or different feelings just based on how many of those shapes we use. So I turned this into a bit of a carnival. I think this is supposed to be, oh yeah, you get myself confused. This is supposed to be some people on a paddle boat. One of those swan boats. I saw a swan boat in this going through the river. Through the tunnel of love.
My favorite carnival game is probably going to be skee ball. But my favorite ride is probably the Total World.
Your favorite ride is the Total World? You know what? That's probably one thing we didn't do a lot of in the summer until about last year. We started going with our cousins, Sophia's cousins, to fair. to a carnival. We did a couple without them too, but it wasn't as regular as I think we could have made it, and now it's something we can't go out and do in the same way. At least for not for a little while. So it'll be fun to get back to doing a carnival or a fair, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm making a superhero sketch. It's been decided.
You made a superhero sketch. It's a good decision. I think that I'm going to take my group of paint sketches. I'm going to keep going on this, my little wizard. Aha. Or alien queen. I guess it really depends on what you're seeing in this sketch. Plus, it's an excuse to use my favorite color. It's purple. So what kind of shapes are you guys using, and what kind of pictures and things are you seeing in those shapes? I know that one of our usual artists, I don't know if she's here today or not, likes to draw Undertale, right? And there's a lot of skeletons in that, and skeletons are actually the basis for how I've been showing you how to draw shapes. You can draw some pretty good skeletons with just a circle and a rectangle, and then
And there you go.
did you draw a nice you can use a triangle, or you can use a heart-shaped upside down.
I have 2 pictures. This is picture 1, my superhero. Super Sophia!
Super Sophia! What is her superpower? What would her one superpower be if she could have one superpower?
Can make anything appear out of thin air with her hands. She could turn thin air into a hoverboard.
Whoa.
Something like that.
Okay.
And next we have
I just want to keep the skull in the scene here. Do, do, do. Somebody is getting a magic lesson. I don't know, that's just what I said.
next we have
Oh, there you go.
This is Super Sophia's cave house,
Oh.
and she's going out to fix. Oh! Help, Undertale is taking over my life.
Well, I can tell you what used to take over my life, and is...
What happened?
What do you mean what happened? Oh, you clicked on something. Just click on the window up above. Yep. There you go. I used
How do
to...
I save my picture?
How do you save your picture? You go up to File, Save. And I already gave it a name. There you go. I used to be really, well, I still am. Let's face it. I'm obsessed with Sherlock Holmes. I love Sherlock Holmes. But what I was obsessed with drawing, because I don't draw Sherlock Holmes a lot. I drew... You go get your water bottle. I drew a lot of Sailor Moon. And this person hasn't earned their wizarding cap yet. I drew a lot of Sailor Moon and a lot of anime stuff, but mostly Sailor Moon. And Sailor Moon was mostly popular, and I wasn't a kid. But that was one of the things I really liked. And Archie comics. Archie comics was what I was obsessed with, and I would draw a lot of Archie characters and make up stories of my friends or characters that came into my head, doing fan art and whatnot of Archie comics. I know, weird, but fun. And if that's what inspires you.
Down
Oh no, you brought
get
back
my
some
water
bears.
bottle. Then I got attacked by these kitties.
Sophia's got a message. Someone actually has a phone device, and I know it's not me. That's for sure. But I think that one of the things that if something inspires you to draw or want to create something, then go with it. Be taken over a little bit by it. And if it helps you spark your own ideas and your own fun, then that's what you got to do. That's how you get your that's how you get your inspiration. Like Sophia absolutely.
Oh my! We've got photos coming in.
Cool.
Some photos coming in here.
Yay! Sophia loves getting the messages to say what we've got. But if that's what you're like, I'm obsessed with dragons and fairies, and I won't do a quick tour of the office because it's messy. But I have fairies and dragons pretty much every corner of my office, and my painting and my artwork, when I'm doing it for myself, is all about creating dragons or fairies that are taking over my office. Please put the phone down while we are broadcasting. Thank you. You can check your messages later. You're more popular than I am. I don't know if other moms and dads have that trouble. Their kids are more popular than they are. So guys, that's one of our quick little lessons, sort of a recap of some of the shapes that we've done and some of the fun things you can do with just a page of shapes. And you can use your creativity to turn it into something. And if you have a particular obsession like pandas,
This is Boom Boom.
Boom Boom, we're going to get introduced to the cast.
This is
Hold
my
on.
kitty, my fleshy kitty, Lindy.
Hi, Lindy. You might have met Lindy. Lindy drew with us for cats.
I met those two. This is Hershey. She's my mom's big teddy
Hershey's
bear.
an old girl. She's my teddy bear from when I was Sophia's age. So she might be familiar to some moms and dads out there because she's a special bear from the Hudson Bay Company. She was one of those holiday bears that were very, very popular many years ago. So, I hope you guys had some fun. Whoa, there. So you can sort of see my masks and see some of my bears and some of my obsession around the office. But whatever inspires you to draw, and even if sometimes it feels a little bit like nobody else gets this,
She's beautiful.
that you should.
That's what it says.
She is beautiful. Hirsch. Or Lindy. Or all of them. I think they're all beautiful. Yeah, whatever has your attention or your focus. Like if you love Minecraft and you want to draw Minecraft stuff all the time, I totally encourage you guys to bring your favorite thing to draw with me kids.
Oh.
And if we're drawing cats, you can turn it into a Minecraft cat. Or if we're drawing pandas, you can turn it into
A Roblox panda.
Roblox panda. Or if we're drawing whales, then you can totally make that into something spooky or cool or crazy, because I love Halloween themed stuff and I love fairies and dragons. So I have a bit of a tendency to do some cute stuff, but I also like doing some dark stuff. So we are going to continue doing Draw With Me Kids edition for as long as you guys want to see it, which is going to be fun, and Sophia and I are having fun doing it. So thanks again for joining us for Shapes, and next week we will see you for our...
But on the first week of September, there might be a little bit of a surprise.
I don't think it's a surprise when we talked about it last week, did we? Anyway, we'll see you guys next week. Stay safe and keep drawing and being creative. We love seeing what you get in. Bye!
Lindy says bye. Lindy says bye. And Hershey says bye. And I say bye. Bye, everybody.